Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. That's it. I hope everyone is doing well. So, Jake Harrell finally confessed of killing his 7-year-old baby Emmanuel, and he pleaded guilty. And he will be serving 24 years in prison for killing his own son. And finally, there's going to be justice for baby Emmanuel, and I'm happy to hear that. We still don't know where his body is. We still don't know why he killed his son, but he was in court and he spoke to the judge and he basically pleaded himself guilty of killing his own son. And the son is, the judge is going to give him the max of 24 years in prison. And to me, I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm thrilled. And he was very emotional in court and started crying, and I'm like, okay, where where was baby Emmanuel? He was crying. Okay, he was probably fearful for his life, but he didn't have the voice to speak up, and you just took your son's life when you should have been a father and to protect your son, but you got rid of him, and this was all planned and premeditated because you, for God knows what reason why you did what you did, and you buried him somewhere like a piece of trash when he was a beautiful, innocent, precious baby, and we don't know where his body is. We don't know where you put him. And to me, he deserved more time, but 24 years is good enough for me. It really is. So there won't be no trial, thank God. And then the judge will read his sentencing, and he's just going to serve time and good. And I hope and pray when he's locked up inside that it's not going to look good for him, because people in prison inside, they don't like when adults molest children or let alone kill a child. So it's not going to look good for him, and that's all I'm going to say about that one. Also, Rebecca Harrell, she's still pleading her innocence, and she's pleading not guilty, and she saying that she had no involvement, which that's just horseshit to me. And just to remind you guys, baby Emmanuel went missing on August 14. Rebecca Harrell told the authorities that while she was changing her son's diaper in the car, someone hit her in the back and said "Hola," and then grabbed a baby Emmanuel, and which her story didn't make any sense to anyone. When she did a press conference or whatever, talking to the press news, there was no tears, there was nothing, and I just knew automatically that she was full of shit and she was lying, and she had something to do with the disappearance of baby Emmanuel. And her husband had something to do with it, but everything was just circumstantial. Everything was allegedly. Well, now it's been confirmed that Jake Harrell confirmed it all and confessed of killing his own son. Now she still has a court hearing in October, and we're going to see what's going to happen. But I believe that she should be charged too. She should get 24 years in prison as well, because you know what? She had everything to do with this as well. She knew what her husband was intending to do to their own son. You know what I mean? So she had every reason to say something, but she didn't. And that's just mind-boggling to me. If you knew that your husband was planning to kill your own son, you would think in your right logical mind that you would call 911, remove your son from that environment and put him somewhere else safe. But no, you didn't do that. And that's the thing. If the baby was too much for you guys, the easy thing to do is just drop it off to the nearest relative. If you couldn't handle taking care of your son, or if it was too much for you, that's a decent thing and a normal thing a person would do. Not take a baby's life who don't have a voice or is not capable of defending themselves. A 7-month-old. So I hope and pray that they throw the book at her as well, because she had every part of this. I don't care what anyone says that she didn't have any part of it. I don't care what she says, that she was not involved in this. It's total BS, because she had every involvement in this. She's a mother. You know what I mean? You're a mom. If you had any inkling that your husband was going to do harm on your son, you should have done something. Okay? Point blank, period. Any normal mother would. Okay? If I had any inkling that someone's going to harm my kid, you best believe I'm going to do something about it. You better get to me first before you get to my children. That's just me, because that's what mothers do. Mothers protect their cubs, just like animals protect their cubs. Okay, if they see their cubs are in an immediate danger, they're going to do what they need to do to protect their cubs. Same thing, every mother will protect their child. And this woman failed baby Emmanuel, just like the father did as well. So they deserve to be thrown in jail, prison, for the rest of their pathetic life. Okay? Because what they did was wrong. And she's not even helping the authorities to plead with her husband, where is our son? Where did you put his body? None of that. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. She's not even asking her husband, where did you bury our son? He deserved a proper burial. You just bury him somewhere like he was a piece of trash, like he was just some piece of shit when he was just a baby. So no, I don't feel sorry for him. I really don't feel sorry for her. And I hope the judge throw the book at her, and then she will spend the rest of her miserable, pathetic life in prison. And hopefully she will repent and feel sorry and have some type of remorse what her husband did to her kid. Because like I said, everything could have been preventable, okay? She could have easily took her children out of that environment and went somewhere else. But no, she let it happen. And to me, that's just the most despicable human being I ever encounter in my life. It's just crazy. But I'm going to let you take a listen to the court hearing of what the judge had to say. And the judge asked Jake Amaro the question, how do you plead? And he said guilty. So take a listen. Oops. Sorry, you guys. All right, here we go. We're having some difficulties here. I do apologize, you guys. Just give me 1 minute. It's running its process, whatever you call it, and I don't know why it's not working. Give me 1 second. I do apologize. You just have to love technology. It's just running its course. So we're just going to give it a minute.
It's a case that's haunted families across the valley, and tonight there's finally a confession. Jake Haro has admitted in court to murdering his 7-month-old son, Emmanuel. Hello, I'm Karen Devine. John White has the night off. The guilty plea came without a deal and even caught prosecutors by surprise. News Channel 3's Garrett Hoddle, who's covered this story since the day baby Emmanuel was first reported missing, is live tonight in Cabazon. He's right outside the Haro home, the same place where deputies made the arrest and where a community memorial still sits. Garrett.
Karen, that's absolutely right. On August 22nd, we saw sheriff's deputies go onto the property right here and arrest both Jake and Rebecca Haro on suspicion of murdering their baby, 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. It's also where we have this memorial that neighbors have set up that has stood for the past 2 months. But today, in a Riverside County courtroom, we heard his father say 3 words: I admit it. Court records show Haro pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, child abuse resulting in death, and filing a false police report.
He did willfully and unlawfully murder baby dog, initials EH, a human being.
He made the plea directly to the judge without a deal and now faces 25 years to life in prison. The amended felony complaint lists aggravating factors, saying the killing was carried out with planning, sophistication, and involved a particularly vulnerable victim. As Haro entered the plea, he wiped away tears. Across the courtroom, Rebecca Haro rocked in her seat, repeating, my baby, my baby. She maintains the not guilty plea will be back in court October 28th, with a preliminary hearing slated for November 3rd. The judge also setting sentencing for November 3rd for Jake, the same day Rebecca returns for her preliminary hearing. Prosecutors telling News Channel 3 they will not comment further while Rebecca's case remains active. Today's guilty plea ends nearly 2 months of speculation but leaves the haunting question without an answer. Where is Emmanuel Haro's body? And we've been putting that question to investigators nearly every day since we've been covering the story. I can tell you we don't have any answers for you tonight. I'm told by the Riverside DA's office that they will not be commenting on any allegations in their investigation while Rebecca's case remains active. Remember, she maintains her not guilty plea. She has a felony settlement conference slated for October 28th with her preliminary on November 3rd.
Okay, so you heard that. So again, where is the body? Why? Now that he pleaded guilty, he should come forward and tell the authorities, where's the body? Where's the body? You, you know, at least a baby Emmanuel deserve that. Have a proper burial. Like, do the right thing. You already confessed. You already did the hard part, okay? You already confessed. You already confessed killing your son. Now, do the moral thing, the righteous thing, and tell the authorities, where did you bury your son so he can have the proper burial. But is he capable of doing that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I will hope and pray that he will do the right thing because his life is over. He's going to be serving 25 years in prison. Okay? He's not coming out. He's not going to harm any more children ever again. Thank you, Jesus. Finally, the right judge threw the book at him. Okay? Because the first time he abused his daughter, the judge let him go. And he had some bogus probation and this and that, and he was still able to be near children after he just abused and almost nearly killed his daughter. So I'm glad that this judge is throwing the book at this son of a bitch because he deserved time for what he did. And I hope he will do the right thing. I can be hopeful that he will tell the authorities where baby Emmanuel is so this precious baby can have a proper burial. As far as Rebecca Haro, the woman is guilty. My baby. No one's not falling for it, okay? You should have said that when you thought that when your husband was planning on killing your son, okay? Again, I hope and pray that the judge will throw the book at her as well because she had every part of this whole thing. She lied to the police. She falsified her statement. So she's going to serve some type of time because she lied to the authorities, okay? So I hope and pray, like I said, that they throw the book at her. And I'm glad that finally there's justice for baby Emmanuel. Now that innocent, pure, precious baby can rest in peace. He's no longer in pain and suffering. And those two evil monsters will never hurt that child again or hurt any other children again. They don't deserve to be parents. They don't. They're two despicable, evil people, and they don't deserve to be parents. And I'm glad that one is locked up. So one down, one more to go. And I hope and pray that they throw the book at her because she was just a part of this. She was just as guilty. And I don't care what she says to anyone. She was guilty of all this. Point blank, period. And that's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. Before I go, I wanted to talk about being honest. You know, being honest is the hardest thing that anyone can do, to be honest about yourself, about things that you're going through in your life, how people tend to think that everything's okay in their personal life when deep down things probably are not okay when it comes to relationship, finance, going through a mental breakdown or going through issues with your job or having some issues with among other things. And we tend not to be honest within ourselves. We tend to think that everything is okay when things are not okay half the time. And sometimes it's good to talk about it to people that we trust and that can really listen the things that we're going through our lives. And, you know, you see people who tend to pretend that they're someone that they're not because they see things on television, they see things on social media, and it looks so glitz and glam and looks great. They want to partake in that, or you know, be an artist or be one of those celebrities, have a reality show. And I just feel like that, to me, in my opinion, is all pretend. It's just all makeup, in my opinion. And sometimes you just don't want to be other people because you don't know what they're going through in their life. It may look nice, it may look great, and you know, outside looking in, but you just don't know what people are going through on their own personal life. So it's best to be honest with yourself. It's best to, you know, just to be your own authentic self, you know, and not try to be someone that you're not. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're all extraordinary. We're not ordinary. We're all extraordinary. We all have different skills, different mindsets, different things that we can present and bring to the table, if that makes sense. And to pretend someone that you're not is just like, what's that going to gain? You're going to be happy. You're going to get what you want, but are you really happy? Are you really getting what you want? Are you really fulfilling what you're trying to seek for inside? Or are you just trying to be someone that you're not? And I know that's really can be hard for to hear, you know, especially if someone is going through that. But you have to like love yourself and respect yourself and give yourself grace and just tell yourself that you're worth it. You know, you are worth whatever you are trying to achieve and trying to accomplish. That anything that you can do, anything that you set your mind to, you can do it. It may take longer. It may be harder, but that's the whole point of, you know, life. You know, if you feel like you can do it and you feel like you're capable of doing it, why not? Nothing can stop you unless you stop yourself. You know, and nothing can stop from your achievements or your goals unless you stop it within yourself. And you have to give yourself enough credit that you got this and you can do this. And just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. And that's hard to do, you know, because it's easy to, you know, fake and make believe and pretend that, you know, things are okay when necessarily things are not okay, or pretending that you're someone that you're not. And I just feel like that's just more harder and stressful to pretend to be someone that you're not when you really are lying to yourself, you know, when you could just be honest and just be your own authentic self. And I tend to feel like it's much better to be that way, to be honest, to be authentic, and just show your true nature of what you can bring to the table, opposed to, you know, being someone that you want to be like, for example, the Kardashians or one of these latest new artists, rappers. You know what I mean? You can be your own self. You don't want to be like someone else. You know what I mean? Because again, that's not your authentic self. And I just wanted to say that. I was just led to say that just to be honest and just be your true self. Because you know what? If someone doesn't like you for who you are and what you have to bring to the table, then they shouldn't be your friends. You shouldn't be hanging around with them. You know what I mean? You want to surround yourself with good, positive people that's going to love you, respect you, and to accept you for who you are and what you have to bring to the table. And that's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in on this channel of That's It. I really appreciate each and one of you taking the time to listen to what I have to say and commenting and sharing this video. And I love you all, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, and God bless.